Hello, good morning. Today is day 3, and many decisions have been made over the last couple of days about how I'm going to schedule moving forward. Some of that has to do simply with, let me see here. I got a new um okay, that's right. Okay. I found a computer camera that's better than the one that's on my computer. But what I'm missing right now is, oh, no, I have a copy of it. Okay, good. Um, so I realized that I have a second kind of workshop series, and it's the orientation to the wisdom gathering quest. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the wisdom gathering quest, but I just wanted to jump into that work and tell you that we did, let's see, we had 5 days of this planned. We ended up only doing 3 days, which quite frankly, I think is enough to get everybody up to speed on using AI. So yesterday was fantastic. Please, please, please go back and watch that day 2. I mean, day 1 is excellent, excellent, excellent. It gives a lot of background into where this idea all came from. Um, and I'm going to bring up some of the stuff that we talked about in day 1 again today because it kind of brings everything full circle. So, what I would recommend is listening to these videos in full, following along, and just practicing, trying stuff out. It goes fairly fast, but if you need to like pause it and figure it out on your own computer and then start it up again, that's the way that I recommend it. Um, I may go back into these videos and chop them up into little tiny videos like that's like here's what if you want to learn this, here's if you want to learn this, here's if you want to learn this. But as a whole, it's a beautiful flow through, and it really helps to be able to just see how I work, how I've learned to work. Uh, that's weird. I hope that if somebody comes into the room, um, I'll be able to see that. Which brings me to this, my second point. Asynchronous learning or asynchronous being talking together. So what that means is that people want to watch things on time when they can watch it. Some people really want to be live and in the room, and that is how you get the best benefit from something, is if you are in the room with me when I'm in the room, so that you can post questions and you can share your thoughts and your experiences that other people we I have a coach and she calls that side door coaching, so that people are asking questions that you might not think to ask in the moment, but later on you're like, oh, I wish I would have asked that question, and maybe somebody else caught something and they asked a question, and then you get the benefit of that. So, another way of thinking about that is it's a little gestalt like that style of psychology to that one person kind of the way that Gestalt works, it's beautiful actually. There's like a whole group of people that come together. So you have your circle. And then there's usually the person who's kind of leading, guiding the session, and somebody who's working the session. And the person who's working the session, those two are in the center of the circle, and they're just really tuned into one another, present. The person who's doing the work, they are present with themselves and just responding from that place of deep presence with themselves. And the person who's supporting them or guiding the session, they are they're really present. There's a whole group of people around, but they're really focused and present with the person who's doing the work. But everybody else outside of the circle gets the benefit. And so that actually is how I see this work with AI. And I want to come back just for a moment to what we talked about the hole in the wall project. This was on the first day. We talked about the hole in the wall project in India. We talked about the fact that I went to a two-room schoolhouse from first until sixth grade, and that was hugely influential on me about, learning amongst other people who are at different levels and different places in their learning. It made it possible for our teachers to go, okay, this kid's having a little bit of trouble here. So I'm going to invite them to come and be a helper when the younger kids are covering stuff that they kind of missed. So that kid gets to be the helper, even though they're the one who might have been struggling a little bit. Or if a teacher sees that a kid is like able, their reading comprehension is a little bit ahead of the kids in their grade, they might get popped up to another grade right in the same room. But their peers, their same grade kids are still in the room. It's not like anybody got set aside. It's just that, how we would do it is the teacher's table was at the front of or teacher's desk was at the front of the table. But the communal learning desk was at the back of the table, back of the room, and that was actually a circle. So when I think back on my early childhood education, it was, by the luck of the draw, I grew up in a tiny little town. Um, that tiny little town has had a bit of a resurgence recently as the bar changed hands. My cousin took it over. There's something funny. There are Stockman bars probably in every Western town, but in Montana, I think there's like 14 Stockman bars. I could be wrong about that, but there's a lot of Stockman bars in Montana, and there happens to be a Stockman bar in Hall, Montana, and that bar happens to be right across the street from the school, from the grade school. And kids sometimes would go over to the bar to to see their parents who would be at the bar, maybe even not drinking, but just that was the communal place to hang out. And then I remember when I was a kid that this became a huge hullabaloo, fun word, um, like parent teacher association thing. I don't even know if we had it, but some of the parents got into an uproar about the bar being across from the school. But what the heck do you do? It's just the way that the town was originally architected. Anyways, um, that bar was falling into disrepair, and my cousin and his wife picked it up and they refurbished it, and it's the community center because the kids can go across the street and play, and they're safe out there in the schoolyard, and the parents are having, enjoying each other's adult company, and the kids know if they need something that of all the parents are right there, right across the street. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that side tangent, but um, I just think like where we can gather and also like how things are renovated, you know, picked up and something new done with. That's quite wonderful. Um, I have more good news. I met with the chamber yesterday, and so we're talking about how to bring this project, the discover what good AI can do for you, and then the secondary piece, the gather, the orientation, actually the wisdom gathering quest and the civic imagination quest to Hot Springs, to Hot Springs, to the town that I'm in, as the origin story town. Now, they haven't made the decision officially as the Chamber of Commerce, but I'm going to be going out into the community and sharing the good news about it, and finding sponsors because to make work like this happen on a larger scale, making sure that everybody gets to be included, we have to rely on our business community to help to support and fund these types of things. So, but it was great to do that presentation yesterday for the chamber and there was like a good response. People get it. People get that their communities need to have this AI education. I don't learning, the opportunity to learn about things in a safe and grounded way. And that's what I bring to the table. And I'm not gatekeeping my information and my knowledge. If you go back to yesterday's session, you will see that it is very comprehensive. And if you follow and do some of the stuff that I suggested, you'll be amazed what you can do with AI just right out the gate. It's very easy. It's actually pretty fun. Hopefully you've had some fun doing, with me right now. And that leads me to what comes next. So my aunt Janet, I keep saying her name. That's probably not very nice, but she could be anybody's auntie, right? Or their mother or their grandma or uncle or grandpa or dad. Um, but just people who never really caught on to computers. And so, they just never picked it up. They were busy with doing their life in other ways, and there were easy ways to have workarounds for not doing the computer stuff. And so this is kind of the boat that my aunt is in, and then another friend who I've done work for over the years. And at one point with the woman that I've done tech work for with her, I was like, I want because we live in different towns, right? And the thing about it is I can do the remote work for her from where I'm at. But as I'm transitioning into other aspects of my career, I don't want her to be left in the lurch, right? Which means that I have to find a way to train my replacement. And how do I train my replacement? Well, part of it is to train the person that I was working with to understand the tools somewhat, so that and I never did this. I never did this with her. I never helped her set up files on her own computer. And and I was just talking to another woman I mean, this woman was a lawyer, a librarian. She'd been using computers. I think she's in her late 60s, I want to say. And maybe she could be in her early 70s, but I think she's just in her 60s. But and I met her in a workshop that I was doing. And very cool lady. She said, "Oh my God, I just learned that folders are a thing. Folders on my computer are a thing. My daughter showed me how to put a folder onto my computer." And I mean, she's quick, I was saying, but I'm slowing it down because like the aha moment for both of us was huge. And not only that, but the idea of folders had been coming up a couple days before that even. And so I was like, "Oh, wait. When I sit down with my aunt and I sit down with the woman that I've been working with remotely. I mean, we started out working when I was sitting side by side with her, and then when I moved, we just continued and doing it remotely. But when I watch her trying to watch what I'm doing on the computer, it it's really hard for her. And this is where like a level of compassion has to come up for us who either grew up with computers or have gone so far ahead because I'll tell you, the young people these days, the way they can whip through, create a video on their phone that's pretty good, not great, but pretty good. And but they can get it up and get it out like that. And I'm like kind of envious of it, quite frankly, because I still struggle with editing video on my phone, editing video on my computer, which means that I'm always looking for an easier solution because I want to be able to use these tools, but I don't want it to be hard. For example, yesterday, I I needed to put together a new um, business email or a new Google Drive, I guess is what I would call it, and for a bunch of reasons. Well, you have to create a domain name, which I did, and then that domain name went into Square. And I didn't want it to go there. I wanted it to go directly to the website I had already created on Google. But now I have to go over to Square and figure out how to do these DNS thingies. And I have been stumped by this multiple times. What I'm saying here is if anybody actually knows how to do this and wants to help me figure it out, this is how we help one another. This is how I grew up in that two-room schoolhouse. That if one person figures something out, they come back and share it with other people. And this is what I want for us with this system that I've developed over the last 3 days. I want you, I want us to be able to help each other. And the test is in these small towns where people are more skeptical, more afraid, have less interaction with computers in general. This is where we have to help neighbors and friends learn this stuff, which means that we have coffee with each other and sit down with the computer and learn what we can together, one person showing the other person. I'm giving you the foundational framework. I'm giving you the place in which you can start and grow in your learning and go beyond me because you're going to need things that I don't even know exist yet. You're going to discover things that I don't even know exist. And then hopefully you'll bring it back to our community, our online community. And our online community can be here in this tiny little town, and it could be on the other side of the planet. That's the beauty of the internet. It's the beauty of it. We could be talking with people in small towns all over the globe. You've probably heard me use the term library as lighthouse. And you see that my symbol for my business is a lighthouse. I'm going to talk more about the symbolism of the lighthouse, why I chose it, but I want you to hear this. There is a term for a series of islands out in the middle of the ocean. It's called an archipelago. And an archipelago, imagine this, lighthouses on these islands. Now, that may actually be true in some cases out in the ocean because you don't want your ships to run into the rocky shore of another little island out in the middle of the ocean. And you can't see them unless is light shining out through the fog. That's the necessity of the light and the lighthouse. But that symbology goes back way, way, way back to our first technology, which was fire. And fire creating the ability to cook food and to see in the darkness, to keep away predators. That's the power of fire. And from fire came light in the forms of candles. Then came electricity. Then electricity was, or even before that, in lanterns, that light the light of the candle was surrounded by glass, and that glass reflected the light out so you could see further distances. Now we are in a situation where we have so much light that we forget to see the stars. We don't even realize that there's stars out there, that there's something so much bigger and more grand than just what we're doing right here at eye level. So we have to have the ability to look out and see out, and we have to be able to see what's right in front of us, and we have to be able to let people see what's behind our computer screen. Um, and I'm letting you in on that all at the same time. Now, I forgot to do something yesterday, and I'm about to forget to do it today. And I want us to get into this habit because it's so powerful. So you'll see this is going to change and transition over time because I'm going to get more habituated to doing this. Bing, 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 like this. Each one of our sessions, especially when you get into the wisdom gathering quest, and we only have 30 minutes together, and I'm going to stay on target with the 30 minutes. I'm letting things run a little bit like lax because we're asynchronous. Most of you are not watching this in real time. Most of you are seeing these videos on in the time that works for you. Some of you are having to pause it and return to it later. You can't watch the whole thing in full because you've got kids in the house that need things and you've got other things that are distracting you. What I want us to get in the habit of, and what I really wanted to talk about today before I get into how far we've come with our flyer. Remember on day one when we said we were going to build this class right off of the flyer. So I said, here's how we're going to do our sessions. I'm going to come in, I'm going to give a little briefing about what we got from yesterday or from last week. I'm going to catch people up. So we've done that. And then we're going to get ourselves centered. But I want to, especially with those 30-minute sessions, we're going to need to do that quickly. And and the practice with this is called somatic intelligence. That means that our body has wisdom. Our nervous system has wisdom. All the organs of our body have wisdom. Our whole body is like this navigational tool. It is the ultimate compass to know right from wrong, good from bad. When we lose sight of how powerful this tool is for us to assess situations and decide, this tool being our body, this navigational tool that is our body, when we lose sight, when we've been indoctrinated out of the great intelligence that this navigational system our body has, this wisdom of the soma of the body. So our somatic intelligence, we want to have that intact and tuned up so that when weird stuff happens in the world, we have a very powerful tool that can help us determine how to navigate it, how to move forward step by step. We have a lighthouse that helps us to see through the dark and to not crash into the rocky shores. Okay? Whew. I get fierce when I think about this because I'm really annoyed about the ways in which the system has led us astray and led us away from our self-trust. When you ask any really great businessman how they got there, one of the things they will typically say is, I just learned to trust my gut. That's intuition. And we have been led away from knowing how to use our intuition, believing that logic trumps everything. And it simply isn't true, especially on the day to day, especially with so much speed and uh, I guess I would almost call it chaos of the digital world. It's moving faster and faster all the time. And getting back to our kids are growing up with it, but our elders are not. Our elders are being left behind. And we don't want to leave our elders behind because our elders carry their wisdom. They carry our collective. They carry the wisdom of experience of having made it through sometimes decades of, of a shift in society, decades before and after the Great Depression, the Roaring Twenties, and then the Depression that came after, and then how they made it through it, and how we've come along since then, how those experiences, especially the Depression, shaped who we are today. And that some people are still in abject poverty around the world. And that is like being in a depression. And that we want everyone, I believe, I do. Let me speak for myself. I want everyone to have access to clean air, clean food, clean water. I want us to be able to navigate streets safely and healthfully at night. I want less criminal behavior. But criminal behavior comes from something. Criminal behavior comes from poverty, a poverty in mindset, but more simply, a poverty and lack of resources. So people will go get them, they'll steal them. This gets into Ten Commandments stuff. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Well, if you're living in poverty and somebody has something that you want, then you fall into the seven deadly sins, envy, or going back to the Ten Commandments, the do not covet thy neighbor's stuff. Some books say wife, but don't covet, don't, if you want what somebody else has, it's going to set you up potentially for criminal behavior. But we're human. We are human. And it is natural to compare. That person has something that I have that I want. It seems like the grass is greener over there, that their life is better than mine. And so I want what they have. Um, FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh my God, if there was ever a time when FOMO was running rampant and actually making this is not good for our children's health, but we can't stop it. The only thing that would stop it is if the entire grid went down. But if the entire grid went down, there would be a mass die off immediately. And inherently, we know that. And the people who keep the grid up and running know that if the grid goes down, like those hackers could shut it all down. The criminals out there are currently trying to shut it all down. Or we could say the good guys are trying to shut it down. Who knows? But that thing is happening right now, going on right now, and we don't even I can't even comprehend it. All I know is that I can be present with you. This is a long, long-winded way of bringing us all back to center because when weird stuff happens, when our kids are freaking out because they've got not just the fear of missing out, but they are missing out on something, and they have to be told, no, you can't do this right now. It's not easy for any of us. Still, to this day, we want what we want. Humans are human. And we want to be part of something that's happening. We want to be part of the happening thing that's happening. And what is happening right now is that there is this AI evolution of technology. And I am just here saying the good news is it's easier than ever, which means that our old people can come along, which means that our young people can help our old people come along, which means that the wisdom that those old people carry isn't going to get lost. And that is huge. The tenacity and resilience that it takes to keep moving forward one step at a time. The willingness to put your hand back and bring someone forward with you, because that's how we've always done it before. That's the only reason that we're here today, is that our ancestors did that for each other, which brought us all forward together to this place. We would be insane, unwise, and quite frankly, stupid to leave the wisdom of knowledge and wisdom of experience of our elders behind. It's too big of a risk of loss to do that. And that ultimately is why I'm creating these basic, rudimentary um, classes and workshops, because I don't want my Aunt Janet to be left behind, because she carries wisdom of experience, and my Aunt Barb. And I want to talk a little bit about my Aunt Barb and my Aunt Janet, and one tiny difference between the two of those women. Grew up sisters together, beautiful, strong, talented, smart women. But there's one tiny difference between them, and I'll share that in a minute. But I don't want to leave them behind. And when I say my aunties, I don't want to leave my aunties behind. I don't want to leave my uncles behind, the ones who have the good wisdom that is going to help me make it through the next bit of place of time that's hard for me, because they have the wisdom of experience to know how to make it through it. I am in my 50s. I have wisdom of experience about my 40s, 30s, 20s, and back to when I was just a child, a kid. I carry all that information up here to this day, to this moment in time for you. I have that two-room schoolhouse experience. I have the fact that I went to University of Montana Western, that they have a system, was hard won, but it's called the block system. There aren't very many colleges in the United States that use the block system, but that's happening here in Montana. It's a reason to celebrate Montana, that a college decided they were going to do something wildly innovative in this rural red state. They chose a wildly innovative education model, and it's wonderful. And it really works in small towns to think in terms of the block education system. And very quickly, what that is you study one topic for an entire month, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week for an entire month, and you produce portfolio pieces for it. It's not testing like I'm guessing that some of the math courses would maybe be like tests on paper, but for things like geology, you're out in the field studying, feeling, getting the experience of what it is like to be a geologist. If you want to be a writer, what it's like to write 3 to 6 hours a day. Because for every hour you're in class, you're expected to put in an hour to 2 hours of work outside of class on that topic, like a real professional writer, like a real professional mathematician, like a real professional biologist. You get the hands-on experience. That's why the wisdom gathering quest, I had to take the wisdom gathering quest into all of its like I took it through all of my knowledge systems and I took feedback from people. I was going to do this for an hour a day. But one of my friends said to me, Renee, an hour a day is just too much. People will feel left behind because it's too big of a length of time. My feeling about it was this is our writing collaboration and we'll write together. But my experience now, just with this discover what good AI can do for you, is that some people signed up, but life got in their way, and they've told me that they're just watching it on their own time, which means that I'm in the room alone talking about this stuff. And it's okay because I've practiced over the years being in front of the camera, sharing my experience. And I want you to know that that's possible for you, that you don't need people in the room to be able to teach what you have to teach, but it takes practice. And sometimes that takes practice behind scenes, and sometimes it takes practice out in the open, but it takes practice. And and so the compromise for the wisdom gathering quest was I'm going to do it. It's a 40-day run. I explained this before, 40 days because 40 years in the desert for was it not Muhammad? It was Moses, and 40 days in the desert for Jesus, right? There's something about the number 40 and doing something for long enough that it settles in. And so here we are to where we'll be beginning each one of those sessions is getting ourselves settled into our body, practicing that somatic intelligence. And if people get nothing out of the 40 days except for that we breathe together, that you had the opportunity to take 3 minutes of your day and come back to yourself, come back to your body, come back to your breath, let your eyes rest, especially if you've been looking at a computer or a TV screen or a phone, even worse. Letting your eyes rest behind your eyelids. Maybe even, sometimes I gather myself back to myself really physically. I think, gosh, I've had 6 different things I've done today already. I feel scattered because I kind of left a little piece of me over here. I was thinking about that, and then I went and I did this, and I went and I did that. And I don't want to be sitting in front of a computer. But I said that I would, and I promised myself I would go through this to show up every day for 40 days. And so I'm going to just start it out gathering myself up. All those places and conversations I've had, come back to the center of myself. And I had a really great mentor. Wasn't my mentor, was my mentor's mentor. He happened to be in the room, and I was in the room. And he said he'd worked for years in a psych ward. And this was for Dr. Russ Kennedy, anxiety MD. And unfortunately, I can't remember his mentor's name right off the top of my head. I'll get it because he deserves to have credit for what I'm about to share with you. He suggested that putting your left hand on your body represents the feminine, the mother energy, and the right hand over it. He said, if you do this over your belly because you have issues with eating, eating disorder, disordered eating, whether it's overeating or anorexia, bulimia, or just any kind of fear around eating, put your left hand, I'm doing it on my chest so you can kind of see my hands, but put your left hand on your belly, over your belly button, and your right hand over top of that. And what this says is, Mama's got ya with your left hand. Mama's gotcha. Breath in, breath out. In through the nose, out nice and slow through the mouth, like you're just flickering, bending the flame of a candle, like the candle with the flame. You're just bending it with your out breath. Just nice, slow, and easy. Mama's gotcha. You're okay. You're safe. At the harshest, most difficult times of my life, my mantra was, it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. You can hear the tears come up in my eyes, come up, the emotions come up for me because that's what I need to hear. There's a lot going on in the world. It's very overwhelming, discombobulating, tons of uncertainty. It feels political. It comes home close by when we have conversations about what's happening in the world. It makes it make it hard in our own homes when people think about things differently. But the truth is, we have to keep seeing one another, the humans that we are, all of the trials and tribulations we've come through up to this point, and be gentle and generous with one another. Those are acts of love. We don't even have to go into compassion. That's a different sort of practice. But to be gentle and generous with one another, to understand that we're all of us, no matter how good the young person seems at technology, they're stumbling and fumbling and struggling to figure out other aspects of life. And that's what we do with our breath, coming home to ourselves, bringing all those scattered, those shattered, because it like breaks us up and throws us apart. The chaos of the world can do that on a daily basis, shatter our attention spans for what really matters, which is who we're trying to do good for in the world. That's what matters. So, Mama's gotcha. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're okay. I'm okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay. I'm right here, right with myself, right with my breath. And then that second hand, that's the father energy. And that father energy comes over and it protects the mother energy. In Chinese medicine, the yin and the yang, the dark and the light. The father comes energy, which is about expansion, but when it comes home to nourish the mother and protect the mother energy, and for them amongst us, for the others who don't feel right with the male female, dy I don't know what that thing is called, duality, binary, the male female binary, the others, we've all felt like others at some point in our life. We've all felt like they and them. They did it. It was them. We've all felt othered in our life. The people who are into technology and the people who are afraid of technology. If we do this us and them thing, I'm like really want my hand to be on my chest because it's warm and it is comforting and it is nurturing. Do you see how easy it is to get scattered? And put a hand over your eyes, put your hands over your eyes and just support your eyelids, resting your eyes. Find your breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Find your feet on the floor. Feel, feel the earth below the floor in which your feet are resting on. Feel the backs of your legs and your butt on the seat that you're sitting on. Feel it. Feel the seat. Feel your body sitting on the seat. Allow gravity to help to hold you here. Rest into the gravity. Allow your back to rest in the chair. Let your whole body rest and feel what that feels like. Coming home to your body after you've been scattered here and there and everywhere about throughout the day. Feel what it feels like to come home to yourself. Come home to your body. This is the feeling we want to feel as we approach any of this new stuff. And every time that we're approaching new stuff. And this is something we can do for ourselves quickly. That by the end of the 40 days, you will have practiced this 40 times, this tiny little ritual, this ceremony to self that says, I am worth and valuable enough to take 3 minutes out of my day to come back home to myself so that I can think clearly about whatever it is that I need to do next. That's the power of these 40 days of doing this practice together. And then we'll write. After that, we'll write. And I've already got the half or more of the prompts already designed with specificity and logic behind why these specific questions. You'll write them down. You can be a part of a communal writing project. And if you want, but all of this is by choice. You can just write it out by hand. These videos will be YouTube videos, so you can just do this practice at home. You don't have to, and you can do it on your own time. That's how I'm keeping my aunts and my friends who aren't using computers and have no intention to use them aside from maybe that they can get on YouTube. If you can get on YouTube, you're not going to get left behind. That's my promise to you. But you might not get to be in the room with me when we do it, and being in the room with me is actually part of the fun, right? It's like I was actually thinking about the Wheel of Fortune, that game show, and I don't know. I think that was just a half-hour show. I think it was just a half-hour show. I'm gonna have to look at it. But if that was just a half-hour show, then we have even more reason to do our wisdom gathering quest and our spin of the wheel. I have this cool randomizer, spinny randomizer that spins the tools, the navigational tools, the doors, the questions that are behind the doors, the windows, the questions that are behind the door or the windows, and the characters of the game. So you haven't even begun to hear about that yet. So let's just do this. Let's see. Let me do something here. I'm gonna get my phone out. I'm gonna set the timer for 3 minutes. So we're gonna get to feel what 3 minutes actually feels like. Because 3 minutes of writing, you can get a lot of writing done in 3 minutes. You can get a lot of being present and resting. There's a ton of rest that can come in just 3 minutes. So I want us to feel what 3 minutes feels like, okay? So I've got the timer set. Come here. I did have the timer set. Okay, got the timer set. We know what we're doing, right? So it's just like we're coming, we don't even have to do this part of the process, but we can. That's a nice physical sensation of gathering ourselves back to ourselves. You can just you can close your eyes and leave your hands up on face up. This is receiving. I'm like, where's the camera? Um, this having your hands facing upright on your lap in a receptive mode, that can be really useful. That's also restful. This is actually ancient technology that goes back to, um, you know, Asian cultures. I don't know where it might come up in Western culture, but certainly I picked this up in yoga and in Qigong. And so there are hand gestures that are in and of itself like postures for meditation, postures for prayer. Like you could do this. You could do this. This feels like more work. The steepled hands feels like more work to me, more effortful. We want you to have the experience of being restful, um, in this coming back home to self. Okay. So here's just a couple of postures. Just having your hands face up on your lap. Just roll your shoulders back. Can shake it out. That's the other thing I like to do. I like to kind of shake it out. Remember, 25 plus years as a massage therapist, and I picked up a thing or two, shaking out our wrists, shaking out our hands. Honestly, sometimes even I might have us do this, like shake the whole body out, shake the legs, shake one foot at a time, make sure that you feel stable if you're going to do that. I'm like shaking one foot, picking up, shaking the other foot, shaking my arms, shaking my booty, shaking my shoulders, shake, 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 shake. That, that in and of itself, you can bounce up and down. I know this is being silly, but when kids are doing this, they're dissipating energy. When kids are bouncing up and down, they're dissipating energy, which is good. They're getting the energy out. So, even before you come to the to the Zoom with us, if you did a little shakeout and you did a little bounce about, if you did that, whew, it's got different kind of breath in my body now, right? A little more circulation. My brain is going to work better now because I've got blood flowing, circulating through my body. It's a good thing. All right, so now then we've got 3 minutes. You're either going to rest your hands on your lap, face up, receiving the good, clean, clear, fresh, refreshed, healing energy. Or put your hands on your chest, right hand over left, or on your belly. You can do that too. You just want your shoulders and back and just everything be, spine nice and upright. So if you find yourself slumping over or slumping, like this is your opportunity to stack your spine one vertebra on top of the other. And feel your feet on the floor. This is the basic preparation for our 3 minutes. So when you come into the room, shake yourself out, bounce yourself around, get some energy and oxygen flow and blood flow so that your brain is ready to roll into the next piece. Get yourself settled down, pick whichever posture you want, stack your spine, roll your shoulder blades back a couple of times. We're not in military form, right? But and then you don't have to be like really rigid, shoulders hard back, but just nice, just everything is neutral. And neutral is that your vertebrae are stacked nice and easy, one vertebra on top of the other, and then down through the center of your body. And actually, if you can see the breath coming in through your feet, up through your legs, up through the center of your body, up to the sky, and then breath out, down, down, down through your head, your neck, your shoulders. your spine, your arms, your legs, all the way down to your feet. You'll start to feel how this energizes you. This 3-minute practice, it helps to focus your mind, right? Brings you back to the center of your mind, gets your mind online, which means that if you're stressed out at the grocery store or at the doctor's office, you can do this or any kind of setting in a meeting that you're frustrated in. You can, and nobody will even see this, right? You can you can focus your mind. Breath in, I'm showing you what I'm breath out. You can focus on right at the center of your forehead. Focus your breath right there. Feel your mind opening and expanding open. You can touch right. I'm right above my glasses, right up from the center of the bridge of my nose, right between my eyes, right there. Just feel what that feels like to just touch that place on your body. And notice your breath. And let your eyes rest. And feel your feet on the floor. And feel your feet on the ground. And feel your spine nice and easy, stacked, nice and neutral. Neck nice, neutral. Chin gently down. Nice, neutral. Where are your hands? Are they resting in your lap? Are they resting on your belly? Are they resting on your chest? Sometimes I need to have my hand on my throat. Sometimes I need my hands over my ears. Sometimes I need my hands over my eyes. But in general, all of those are good. All of those are ways to rest. If there's too much sound infiltrating you and you can't think straight because of all the sounds around you, it's okay to do this. It really is. Cup your hands nicely like this and just rest your hands out. You're not closing them off hard. You're just resting your hands over your ears because it's an act of protection and collection. You're collecting yourself back to yourself. You're coming home to yourself and you're listening to what your body needs, which is to block out some of the sounds that are around you. If there's too much visual stimulation, it's okay to let your eyes rest behind your hands. Again, I'm not pressing my hands into my eyes. I'm making a nice cup there, and I'm just letting my eyes rest. You'll notice that your ears get warm as energy comes in there. Your eyes get warm as energy comes in there. Through this, I want you to feel and experience more energy flowing for you. You'll just feel better about everything. You'll feel better about the world in general. If your nervous system is more calibrated, if your mind is more online, if you have given yourself the opportunity to say, it's going to be okay. It is okay. Whew. Okay, ready for our 3 minutes? I'm not going to even talk. All I'm going to do, set this for 3 minutes, and we're just going to breathe together in through the nose, out through the mouth, receiving good, loving, light, God-given energy. Pure, simple, sweet, nurturing, nourishing energy that you deserve, that you deserve. You deserve this moment of respite in your day to come home to yourself. You deserve that. And you deserve it all throughout the day. Whenever you need it, you can give yourself permission to take 3 minutes or a minute. Honestly, this practice can be done in a minute because it's about your intention. It's about your intention, right? I intend to come home to myself, to find my breath again, to find my feet on the ground, to come home to myself. I deserve to know that I'm okay. I know that I'm okay. I know that I'm safe. I can see that, but I deserve to feel it in my body. And the way to do that is give yourself permission to come back home to yourself, to come back to your breath, to come back to your place of receiving good, clean, clear, fresh, refreshed, God given love and light. That is the opportunity here. All right, here's our 3 minutes. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and begin. Mm. But a little audible sigh. And allow your eyes to flutter open. How was that? Was it harder or easier than you thought? Did you want more time? Or did your mind go in all sorts of different places and you're like, oh man, this is hard. I don't know if I can do this. How long is it going to be? How long has it been? Which direction did it go for you? Hopefully, by the end of our 40 days, you'll have the experience of like 3 minutes, man. I just want to keep going with it. I'm doing this 3 times a day and 10 minutes at a time. And I'm feeling way better about my world. That's that's where I'm aiming to get with and for myself, but for everybody, it just starts with 3 minutes. So that's how our practice is going to be moving forward. I have to really make myself tune up for this so that it's do the briefing so that people who are a little late can get in the room and they'll only miss that tiny little bit like what did we do yesterday or what did we do last week? They'll just miss that little bit and it's easy to go back and listen to the beginning of the video to hear it. And then there is the this 3 minute come back to self, come home to self somatic intelligence practice. And then we'll go into the actual work. Um, Now, moving forward, what's this going to look like? I am going to do the first 2 sessions. In fact, I might do all 3 of these sessions one more time in 2 weeks. So I'm going to wait 2 weeks to get people interested that want to be in the room with me. So you'll have the chance to watch the video and then we'll do it again. I'll take notes, what worked, what didn't work, what went smoothly, um, and and then we'll have people come together online again for 3 more times. I'm sure that those will be even better than these ones were, and then that will be in our library. These sessions will be in our library because this was definitely off the cuff for me. I was improving it with structure. I had structure, so you'll notice that when you go back to video one or day one of our series and day two, it was definitely structured. Um, we got a lot done, and you honestly, I'd set you loose in the world with AI right after just having those 2 pieces. Meanwhile, what I promised was we would use the flyer as our structure for our workshop. So I want to make sure, I definitely know that we did learn how to talk it out, speak your ideas and turn them into written text. I'm going to show you another way to do that today because I'm going to just show you another way to do that today so that you'll have 2 ways of thinking about it and 2 ways to do it. And then think things through, use AI to explore options and solve problems. We literally solved a couple of problems yesterday in that video. So day 2 video, you'll actually get to see us solve problems that were created in real time. We solved them in real time and they were really practical and useful. Solved a problem for me and I just demonstrated it in real time. So, something that I had been thinking about wanting to do for a while, and I just did it, and it didn't take us long at all. Polish what you write, help with spelling, grammar, and clarity. We did that yesterday as well. So, in the day 2 video. And then create simple visual flyers, covers, and project materials. We haven't done that yet. So, that is what we're going to do for the rest of our time today. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to come in here and show you something really quickly. So let's see, gmail.com. Coming to. Okay. We have um, Google Docs. Okay. I'm going to start a blank doc. Now, I just found this out, so I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to figure this out quickly. We'll title this doc um, Demonstration of Talk to Text with um, Google Docs to to Chat GPT. Okay. Now, I will load this document up um, into our classroom, so you'll have access to this. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to Tools. In Tools, we have Spelling and Grammar. So just to point this out, um, AI has been around for a long time and it's been helping with spelling and grammar, and it's been doing it in Google Docs, and it's been doing it on Microsoft Word for a long time. Same with word count. This stuff has always been in here. You can look stuff up in the dictionary. Translate document. I have not used that, but that's kind of a cool thing to be able to do. What we're looking for down here at the bottom is voice typing, or it's in the second section. So look for spelling and grammar in the first section, dictionary at the bottom of the first section. The next section starts with translate document and then voice typing. We're going to choose voice typing. Just click on that. We've got a little microphone over here. And um, since we want to create a visual, I'm going to go jump over here to what we were doing yesterday in ChatGPT. Top 8. Personalization. Okay, so we were doing personalization. No, archive search assistance. That's what we were working on. Okay, so just to give you an overview of what happened yesterday, um, I uploaded a document. I wanted to see if I could ask the AI to go into my find in my Google Docs, go to my Google, um, I'm going to look up here. Okay, so you're getting this in real time. I'm going to clunk through this together here for a second. Search images. Okay, I go into my account, which is under your name, and then into settings. And then we went to data controls. And this is where I could find the shared links. All the links that I've shared, I showed how to put those links to save them in a separate place. So we saved those over into a spreadsheet and then archived chats. So I didn't, as of yesterday, I didn't have any archived chats, but we went through the process of archiving a chat. So we did that. And the chat that we archived was called Chamber Proposal Narrative. So I tried searching inside of my chat GPT and I couldn't find it there. I have to manually go and find the chat that I'm looking for that I archived. So what I did is I made a Google Doc out of that archive. And in fact, yes. Okay. So the first thing I did is I asked it to see if it could find the archived information in this chat conversation that we were having, and it couldn't do that, right? So what I did is I put it in my Google app. Okay, I have attached. These are where you and under apps in the menu to the left-hand side of the page, the apps that I already have connected. Well, let's go look inside where I personalized. Okay, so we're going to go back over here to where I personalized to settings. And let's see, I think it's in data controls. Sometimes you just have to look around. I'll try personalization. Advanced. Yep. Nope. No, it's under apps. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's under apps. So these are the apps that I have used. And I explained what the other apps that I have because I was just testing it out. What kind of apps are there? I found one for business, Slides GPT. That app, didn't think it was that great. I'm sure it'll get better. certainly the visuals have gotten better. And then and under personal, I just tried tarot to see what that was like, and it was pretty fun, but I probably won't use it much. What I will use a lot is Google Drive, which means that I am giving ChatGPT permission to go into Google Drive and find things for me. And my analogy is that that like the archive is like our law library and our file cabinets in our law office. Okay. So or our office, it doesn't have to be a law office. So we have file cabinets in our office and we have a library in our office. And I don't like that sliding around like that. That's making me crazy. So I'm going to go archive search assistant. This is perfect. Okay. So the file folders, the file the file cabinets are in the Google Drive. And so I want my research assistant, my paralegal, my secretary, I want them to be able to easily access and keep my file cabinets organized. I want them to be able to look inside the folders easily, and I want them to be able to find documents easily, and I want them to have access to the file cabinets themselves. I don't want to lock that behind a door where I have to keep going in and unlocking it every single time. I want them to just have easy access to it, okay? So so we tested out the system. I can't find it inside our own chat, but we can put those documents, we can archive them, we can upload the archived documents to the drive, and that we've set it so that the chat GPT can go and into the file cabinets that is Google Drive and go and find what we were looking for. So once I did that, I what did I ask it to do next? Ooh, sorry, you have to scroll through this with me like this, but that's the way it goes. Okay, and this one wasn't even very long, so I can just walk you through kind of what we did. So the first thing is I said, here was my prompt. Can you look for something that has the word archived? So now I know how I want to file things from the archived folder. I'm going to literally, when I create the document, I'm going to put the word archived around it, and then search for that in my Google Drive so it knows what to do. Yep, I searched in the Google Drive, it says, and found anything that said archived in it. Here is the main match. It was exactly what I was looking for, the chamber proposal narrative archived. It gave me it gave me a tiny little snippet about what this was like. It was created on February 5th, last updated on February 5th. Gives me the title. This is the big, beautifully layered chamber pitch you and I built together, the one designed to be chopped later into reels, emails, snippets, and board packets, because that's the process that we went through when we were building it. Would you like me to open it fully? And gives me three options. Pull out the strongest reusable section, turn it into a fresh 2026 ready version, or help you adapt it for different audiences, libraries, funders, sponsors, state level partners. That must be a pretty valuable document if it sees the audiences we've been working with and it sees the value in adapting it to different audiences, okay? And it's telling me that it's suggesting to me that that can happen. So all I wanted to know, my next prompt was, how many essays or blog posts could we get from this document? By the way, that was a document that I worked on um, several weeks ago, and it ended up being 120 pages of a document, which I'm never going to be able to have the time or interest of even going back and looking at my work. I want the AI to be able to go and help me sort and organize it for me. And you will find that once you get into a conversation with the AI, you're really in a conversation with it, like being in a conversation, like brainstorming ideas with another person. That's how the experience can end up being. And once you do that, suddenly you have 100 pages or 50 pages. And you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? And it's just going back and forth. Then what I showed you how to do this yesterday, just quick overview. You just copy this whole chat, you save it to a Google Doc, you archive this one so that it's out of your way. I mean, I have hundreds of chats that I've done to get to this point, to understand, to have built what I've built. Took hundreds of conversations between me and the AI. That's iteration. This is not work, but it's work that's worth doing. It's work that's of your interest. It's your work in the world. That is the difference. When people worry about jobs, I believe that AI has the potential to give us our life back, to give us our sense of meaning and purpose, and give our time back so that we can actually do good work. We can solve problems that have been around in our local communities, in our families, and everything else for a while. We can do that because we'll have the time and the assistance through the AI to help us to be able to do it. And that is a great gift. Now, who knows how they're going to keep monetizing it and if they're going to cut us out financially, but right now it is the Wild West and they want us to use it and they're giving us it to us for free or for really cheap. So if if there was any tool I would suggest paying for, AI would be one of those tools I would suggest paying for right out the gate so you can have like big access to making documents and things like that. Okay, I just want to go back through this. So, how many essays or blog posts can we get from the document that I created weeks ago that I hadn't even looked over myself because it had hundreds of pages, 120 pages? And it said that there's 12 to 18 strong essay or blog posts. I've done this process over and over. I haven't posted any of the blog posts that I made because even that takes time. And I haven't figured out how to automate it or delegate it. Oh, that reminded me of my friend who I was working remotely for. I wanted to help her be a better delegator. People who don't know how to use tools and want somebody else to do it for them, a lot of times they don't have enough knowledge about the tool itself or the capabilities or the amount of time something takes to be able to assess what they're asking someone to do. And then when they're given a proposal and they say it's going to cost this much money to do what you asked me to do, um what was I going to say there? Um People don't know what they don't know. Myself included. I don't know how long things are going to take. I didn't know it was going to take me 2 years to be of regular usage to be able to get to the place where I am now at the place where I can sell what I started creating years ago. And it isn't anything like what I thought that it was going to be when I started it. But everything that I did back then might come to fruition because I had intention about it back then. I learned about it. But I have to piece by piece go through my own work and archive it and upload it to or have someone do it for me. That's called delegation. When we have money resources, we can hire people. Thus, we become part of the entrepreneurial fold or the small business fold. We're creating jobs. We're job creators instead of job doers because our job becomes something different and we need help to sort and organize. Now, AI does a lot of it, but a lot of this either I have to do manually or I have to hire out. So I need inflow of of I need financial backing to be able to do that. I need working capital to be able to do that. So that is part of why I charge for my consulting services. That's why I charge for my programs and that I keep it financially accessible for people, giving people ways in from $2 all the way up to $10,000 right now is where I'm at. $2 in to get to follow along and be part of it, to put a pin in the map and say, I'm here at the beginning. I want to be here. This is good work. That's what you can do for $2. I'll send you a thank you. I'll send you a personal thank you. And then from there, there are options from anywhere from $17 to be able to come in to, up to $10,000 for a whole entire community to have access to this work. The Wisdom Gathering Quest, right now, I'm bringing people in who I know, like, and trust to participate in it. Typically, I'm going to be charging anywhere, and I'm going to be charging, I think I'll charge $150 for that. And eventually, these programs, I'm going to ask people to contribute as well. Right now, they're for free, but I am going to ask people to be my patron on Patreon or something like that, and to just make a contribution because all of it helps. All of it helps to make sure that I can keep growing and learning and sharing what I'm learning with you as well. But we'll get more into that later. I want to come back to this. So it said that we had 12 to 18 strong essays. If every one of my conversations has 12 to 18 essays, I have a lifetime of essays and blog posts. Then it tells me what the types of blog posts there are. Tier 1, core feature essays, 5 to 6 of those. 2, practical thought leadership, 5 to 7. 3, reflective cultural pieces, 3 to 5. And then it gives me a process it suggested with a 15 post editorial map. I don't even know what in the hell an editorial map is. So I might search that word, editorial map. Please explain to me what an editorial map is, right? The next part, can you give me a big beautiful list of pull quotes for social media campaigns and tell me which platforms each would best belong in? So remember yesterday when I shared all those magazines, Condé Nast, National Geographic, Cut, Maxim, I think was one of them. Women's Day might have been one of them. I can't remember. So I said those were how I wanted to be writing, my writing style, and I wanted to be a pop culture journalist with a specialty in National Geographic. So when the AI is acting on my behalf, that's how it's personalized for me. That's how it's thinking. When I ask a question like this, I'm asking it to curate the pull quotes based on that. What is a pull quote? It's just a quote from the work that I did or created or had my team help me create from what we talked about. So, for example, if I download this video and I get the transcript and it's just me talking, I've talked the entire time, and the transcript is just me, 100%, every word on that transcript is me talking. If I hand it over to the AI and I say, pull out all the best pull quotes that support whatever case I'm making. So if we're doing a blog on how to use AI to write a proposal for your local chamber of commerce, then it's going to look for pull quotes that are going to support that. I can put up the proposal and I can say, find pull quotes that support every single section in the document, but it came directly from me. And it's going to find a lot. In fact, I will do that as a demo project so that you can see the outcome because, this is how we learn together. This is exactly the 2-room schoolhouse. This is exactly the hole in the wall concept. Remember, hole in the wall was that community in the tech company in India who put a computer in the middle of an area where there was a lot of poverty and they just left it alone. I don't know how they protected it. I'll have to find that. I will post that as well. The video that I originally saw about it. I think it was a TED Talk. And they showed the kiosk where the kids gathered around. And it was like, first it was one kid and then it was other kids. And they just learned it together. They taught each other how to do it. And who knows? There's a good chance that some of those kids grew up because of that literacy that they picked up from that hole in the wall computer experiment that the computer technology literacy, the internet experience literacy, that those some of those kids made it out of poverty and went on to do great things because of it. Great things in the world, great things for their communities. There's a really good chance. I would love to. I'm gonna do some research. You see what happens? This is the rabbit hole. I would rather all of us go down this rabbit hole of learning about the world and the good stuff that's going on in the world to contribute to it by learning best practices and things that inspire us out in the world and develop our own purposeful, meaningful projects based on best practices and good stuff that's happening in the world already. I would rather that happen um, out, than spending our time on stupid Facebook, quite frankly. Although, look at that. I have some specifics for Facebook. So it told me which uh, which platform to post different kinds of things on. Now, what were we doing from this? I know. Huh. All right. So we're going to come back over here and I went off on a tangent, but I didn't forget where I was. We are going to speak into being, talk to text with this little microphone, which we found up there in tools, down there, voice typing, and then click to speak. And we're going to tell it what we're going to ask it to do. We're going to give the instructions to the AI, but we're going to do it over here in Google Docs. Okay. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is we're going to make a visual from the documents that we worked on yesterday. And that's going to be the cover piece for hit record after I take it through the Notebook LM process, which we also did yesterday. And this is our demonstration process today. And that's going to fulfill our final point here that we promised that we would help to create a simple visual for flyers, covers, and project materials. So what I'm asking you to do, the river, hashtag the river, hashtag the river. Yep, got it. Great. Um, Hashtag the river, all one word. Okay. Hashtag the river. The river. Hashtag the river. Mm. See how it's having a hard time with that? Okay. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this over. The last instruction is going to be turn this into uh, grammatically correct and spelling and grammar correct with proper paragraphing. Thank you. And then we're going to hit the red button to turn it off. So we're going to copy this, That's highlighting it. Now, if I'm highlighting it with my, oh, shoot. Control Z. That is one of the very most important buttons. Open Apple Z or Control Z. Most important buttons. If you screw something up or something goes missing and you're still working in that document, once you close out the document, it changes things harder to get back to what an original version is. Still possible sometimes. We won't get into that because you're not going to have this problem because you're going to know that Open Apple Z protects you. If you screw something up like I just did, I just immediately hit Control Z or yeah, Control Z and it went back, it like reversed what I messed up. Okay. So that should be useful to you. We're going to highlight everything. You could also do Control or Open Apple A, and that's going to collect everything. We're going to cut it this time. That's Control X or Open Apple X. It's gone because we're going to take the better version. That was just a crappy block of text. We're going to come over here, paste it over here, right? And see what happens. Now, I gave it a whole bunch of different instructions, so we'll see what the first thing it's going to do. Here's the cleaned up, grammatically uh, grammatically correct and properly formatted version ready to use and hit the red button with. The red button just caught that at the end. That's so that you know that you've turned off the microphone inside of your Google Docs. And I haven't tested this out, but I'm guessing if Google Docs has it, that Microsoft Word also has it. All right. So demonstration process, a visual creation workflow. Um, oh, it's just telling me how to do it. You know what? I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to do that Open Apple Z again. Look, boom, it's back. I'm going to give that just so we know what that first, I'm going to put it at the bottom because we don't want it at the top. It looks gross. But we're going to see, I'm going to take the entire conversation that it tells me what today's flow is. And it gave me a little heart at the end. How sweet. We're going to post that in there. Look at this, and it says, today's flow, here's what we're doing. We're taking the documents for yesterday. We process them through Notebook LM. We generate insights, map, and summaries. We translate them into visuals. You don't have to do this. I'm probably not going to do all of this. That visual becomes a cover piece, a flyer image, a project reference, a teaching example. So here's the thing. If I produce the original piece of information and then I have somebody, a human, or maybe an I don't know, I might be able to set it up. I'm not taking the time to figure out how to automate all the AI stuff. Other people are doing that. I will bring those other people to you at a later date so that we can find out what another level of this is and people can decide how they want to go move forward, because for most people what I'm sharing is plenty enough. We don't need any more bells and whistles. Some people will. Some people with small businesses, some people who want specialty things and they want it for less expensive. We're probably still going to have to hire humans to help us to do this stuff. It takes this process it just told me to do for this is going to take me all day. And because I went to the chamber yesterday and I only talked to half of the people with the chamber, I need to go back and talk to people today because what I need to do to keep going is sell what I have for sale. I have to make my work available to sell it so I can keep doing this work. And I can't do all of this stuff I mean, I have been to learn how to do it. But look, we have incorrections. So we're going to come back here and we're going to say, every time it says hashtag the ever, that is supposed to be, um, it should know this, the river. Oops, shit. Okay. So it's gonna po polish it, clean it up and polish it. But then this is what's gonna be, yeah. Now, there might be a way that the other AI, the AI inside of here, sees this. Now, I didn't like that, right? I wanted the corrected version. So I'm copying all of this, pasting it in there. Good. Actually, two Z's back. This is the perfectionist in me coming out. Jeez. This is how come things take a long time to get the way you want it. And I miss my little heart, but whatever. It gave me a basketball or something like that. All right. Um, the next step is all we want to do. I'm gonna use the dictation tool on here so you can see how that works. Okay, I'm demonstrating how to use the dictation tool right here in ChatGPT so people get to see and feel how that works in this next section in case they don't go back to day two and get to watch that demo. So multiple times, you get to learn this multiple times. You see me do it. Oh God. And I have my little finger pointer sitting over top of the X. Don't do that. Do not hit the X button if you want to keep what you're working on. That was scary. Um, okay. What I'm asking you to do today is to make a visual from this conversation that we had today. Can you do that for me? And hit the check mark, and the check mark will we'll see how it responds to that. Oh, automatically creating the image. Yay. I'm going to go in here and see just for the heck of it while we're waiting on that image. I'm going to go in and see if Microsoft Word new. No, I'm not going to take a tour. I just want a blank Word document. No. God, why so many steps, right? Um, help, design, draw, insert. Doesn't have tools. Oh, dictate. There it is. It's actually up on the front page. So we're going to test this out right here. Okay, so we're going to see how well it works to dictate right here in um, a Microsoft Word document. And it's very, very easy. So here's what I could do. I could have it transcribed in real time, the words that I'm saying. And what the beauty of this is that for people who have arthritis or who have other physical challenges that makes it difficult to type, or if they never learned to type, or if they never felt comfortable with typing, this opportunity for the dictation tool makes it way easier to do that. So here's what I've discovered. I've found out that with Google Docs, you have to go under Tools to find the dictation tool, and that it has a big red button to turn off when you're done using it. It sits right out there on your main page, kind of like that. But this is right in our main window of on Microsoft. It's right on the main window, so we can just use it right here. It's right there for you, right in right out in plain sight. So now we have an extra tool to use. And we've experienced it both in Microsoft Word and in Google Docs. Yay! Yay for us. Oh, and then I'm going to hit transcribe. I don't know what that means. Transcribe. Generate a transcript by uploading your audio file or recording. Whoa, I have some audio files. Let's look what happens. Look at, you're learning in real time with me. I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. Okay, this one was called Deep Tissue to Deep Learning. I'm gonna open that up. It may take a while. I'm gonna actually get rid of this because we already saw it work. While that's working, let's go see what kind of picture it finally put up for us. Oh, from conversion to creation, the river plus Notebook LM, create the visual, hit the red button. Thinking and talking, mapping and summarizing, designing and creating. Hit the red button. It was a win. I can't believe that. That's so funny. Um, so there's the graphic that it created. Really, really good quality graphic for this project. I think that's hilarious. Look at how good that did. Now I can just download that and upload it where I want it to be. You'll see it in hit record. And yeah. Now I want to see. You're probably tired. I'm tired. We've been here for nearly 2 hours. Hopefully, you're learning to take care of yourself. Just turn it off and come back to it later. And at some point, I will be able to get these chopped up so people can do it the way the rest of the world has been telling them, teaching us to do it. Chop it up so people can use our short attention span, and I do the work on my end, and you don't have to listen to me stumble and fumble around. But maybe that's part of the fun of it. I don't know. Maybe that helps you feel like I'm not so far ahead of you, and that this experience is just us helping each other out. Just a quick note on I kind of said I was going to explain how I'm going to move forward with this. I think moving forward, I'm going to do one time per week. I mean, I'm going to do this whole series again in 2 weeks, but then after that, I'm just going to do one time a week of just like AI basics, one time a week of, oh yeah, I wanted to get in here in the classroom. Perfect timing. So come back to classroom. This is me as a tester of my own classroom. So I have two classes in here. One is the Discover What Good AI Can Do for You. That's kind of where we've been at. We went over this in day one. So we went over inside of what all of this looks like. We don't need to do it again. I did change some stuff around to make it easier. So I'm learning myself in real time. Go back to the classroom. This writing camp orientation. Now, I brought up at the beginning of this session two different people, maybe it was even three, because it would have been my aunt Janet and the file folders. And I made a bunch of file folders for my Aunt Barb. Gosh, that's why we would want to cut it up, cut out all of that. Moving energy, man. That's moving energy. I think that's good stuff. Um, uh, File folders. So I created folders for my Aunt Barb because we, Janet, Barb, and myself are working on an archival project or a book for the family. And we're using the company as Memento. I typically don't name drop names unless I'm being either an affiliate of theirs or whatever. I'm probably going to become an affiliate of theirs because I really like their process. We're not all the way done with the book, but when you hear Barb and Janet talk about their experience with it, it's been really good. And that is AI. It's AI kind of, I mean, how it works is we do videos and we can do videos like this with Zoom, but they're using, actually, I don't think we could use Zoom for it. I think only one camera can be on at a time. So if you're using your home camera or your computer camera, you can only use the computer camera for that. But anyways, um, Memento, it's AI. It's doing exactly what it's transcribing in the background in real time, exactly what Word is doing for me right now while I'm having this conversation for you. And it will do videos and audio, and then you get the QR code for the video, and I think maybe the QR code for the audio, so that after you're dead, your family can have your videos of you telling the stories in your real voice and the audios of you telling your stories in your real voice. And then it transcribes it. It can put it in first person, third person, or it can transcribe it exactly as you spoke it, verbatim. It was the vocabulary word from yesterday. The word is verbatim, exactly as you said it. So it can do all of those three things. And then you can add pictures into it. And so I was trying to help Barb sort out all the pictures from all the different archives she's had over the years and all the different places she had pictures. And so I created folders for her. And I did it with Janet as well. And just to get back to the one difference between Barb and Janet, and this is so common with people. And I didn't know this until I was talking with my friend who was a computer programmer years ago. He said two of the main things that trip people up is the actual ability to use the scrolling device, either the mouse, the physical mouse that you attach to, or Bluetooth, or you can have it plugged in the mouse. And that's a really useful tool, but people don't actually learn how to use it. And he said the solution for that is to play. Oh, and then to learn to click on something and drag it somewhere else, right? And then there's also the mouse pad on the computer itself. So for on my laptop, I have a little keypad or mouse pad or touchpad, not mouse pad. I don't know why I called it mouse pad. I have a touchpad on my computer itself, and I use that to maneuver and navigate the 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 icon on the screen, the pointer or the little hand button on the screen. Now, for my Aunt Janet and my friend who I have done work for in Helena, Anne, I'll just use her name, Anne, for those two people, because this is just a common story, right? It doesn't matter that it's my Aunt Janet or my friend Anne. That doesn't matter. What matters is people don't realize that they didn't get these foundational skills of using the map, of using a mouse or using the trackpad on the laptop. And if you don't have those skills, everything else gets harder. And so, for our writing camp orientation, that's where we're doing those basic skills, right? And there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff in here. But it's for people specifically who don't have a lot of skills and background with computers. And if you go on Google and YouTube and you start looking around, it's going to take you a lot of time to find it, find what you're looking for, and you're always going to wonder if you found the best thing or if the reason that you're not getting it is because somebody else out there has a better answer. And really, it's just kind of like the first thing that you learn and realize. So that's why I put this writing camp together because I wanted it to be as easy as possible for people to be able to actually do the writing camp with us, to be in the room in real time with us. And that means that there were people who just don't know that a file folder exists. So I'm going to create that next. My friend who's the computer programmer, he has this whole logic, hierarchy logic. And we had a battle about how to teach this stuff. And I said, we should just have a conversation about how to think about creating hierarchies inside of file folders. But then I realized that one of my problems was I just put everything on the desktop where I can see it. And I probably won't stop doing that. But and I upload all everything to my dot to my uploads file, and I never go back and sort that out either because I don't have a good system for organizing my stuff. And I was like, well, geez, if I don't have a good system to organize my stuff, and he has a very, very good system to organize his stuff, and he does it right in the moment. He never procrastinates. And it's really it's not to say that one way is better than the other way. It's just to say that, it can be overwhelming if you get in the position where I'm at, where I'm going to have to go back and sort everything out from all of the crazy places that it's at. And I used AI to like figure out a best practices for me. It knows me and how I operate over time. It's kind of learned. Like I put the word and at the begin and comma at the beginning of sentences all the time. And people who know writing know what that is called, and I don't even know what it's called, but it was teasing me. The AI was actually teasing me at one point about doing that, and it used the proper terminology for what that is. And people say that the AI doesn't have a sense of humor. I have found that it does have a sense of humor. It just shows up in these strange times and strange ways. One time, I haven't even told anybody about this. One time, my the AI put a Russian word in the middle of some, and I caught it. I was like reading what it had written. I was in a deep conversation with it, and I was like, that word doesn't look right. And I was like, it looks like a Russian word. I studied Russian in college, so I didn't know what it said, but it definitely looked like written in the Russian alphabet. Cyrillic, I think that's, no, that's not right. Anyways, it's written in the Russian language, and I was like, wait a second, what's that all about? And I copied it and I put it down there. Then it goes, oh, you know, this is a large language model and we're getting information from lots of different places. And I just, the word translates to, and it gave me the translation of the word, which would have fit perfectly in English. It just threw the word in from Russian. And it was like this beautiful moment of just learning, like learning how the AI thinks, even how it does its thing out there in the world. And it was fun. It didn't scare me. It just made me go, I mean, this is how we're creating new writing in real time, even if it's gathering it off of other writing. One thing that I wish that it had, and you can cause it to do this, is to give its references. But I don't do that all the time because what I'm writing is really around creating a world that I'm creating. So unless I'm specifically asking it to go out and find new stuff that I need to support a case and that somebody else has already done research on that, and then it will help me put that link to that resource into my document properly because I want to give proper credit where credit is due because that's fair. People work really hard on designing things and developing ideas, and they don't deserve to have their work lifted just because the AI can. It's a form of thievery, and I don't like it. And I don't like that that's part of kind of what people are experiencing. I don't like it for that reason. I don't have the full solution. That's why we have conversations with AI experts and with regular people on ethics and AI, and we do that on a regular basis. So, what's happening for me right now is I'm just formulating the structure of my schedule so that I can make sure that people get what they need and that yeah, that people get what they need and that and that I'm listening to people on the topics of technology. So inside of here, it's like regular tech tools for regular people, how to set up a Gmail account, how to set up Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom, the River. is what I call my chat GPT. Actually, I call all of my uh, AI, I call them all the river, and they're all just helpers to me. They're all just computer helpers to me, helping, they're my assistants, and I call my assistant the river. And so it doesn't matter where it comes from. Sometimes I mark that it came from ChatGPT because that might be useful for like a visual. But all the AI, I just call it all the river. I throw my information into the river and it tumbles in around my stones of ideas, my rocks of ideas, and then out of it comes a more polished thing. That's why I call it the river. Telegram, that's the best way to direct message me. It's you can send me a text, you can send me a voicemail, you can send me a video, a voice note. You can send me a text message, a voice note, or a video. And that is the best way to be in direct contact with me. And I use my Telegram like a real tool in my day to day. So I'm on there often. Whereas, I'm harder to get a hold of on social media. If you send me a message on social media, the chances I'll get it in a timely fashion are low. If you send me a message via Telegram, the chances I'll get back to you within a day are very high. So I want you to know that you can direct message me via Telegram, and that I suggest adding Telegram to your toolkit for that reason. Um, I guess I was talking to people about setting up Clubhouse. That's our audio only community, and it is our community. This is where we're having tea and conversations, tea and chat. That's where we're going to do that on Clubhouse, and it's informal, and we'll have a regularly scheduled time on Clubhouse where people can come in. We'll do different topics, but one of the topics is just going to be AI and ethics. And then the River Notebook LM and getting that set up because I think those are the best, most useful tools for me right now. They're the ones that I recommend for others to have. Um, this also sets up what the writing camp is all about, what the landscape of the map looks like, the tools, the windows, the doors, the archetypes, um, how to play, gameplay. I'm still working this out in real time. The writing prompts on the 40-day quest and the getting present and centered with ourselves as an opening and a closing transition into the workshop and out of the workshop, that is going to be like the core of this. And if you walk away with only that, then that's great. If you actually get a bunch of writing done, that is like gravy. That is bonus right there. So that's our goal because we want to write something that's a communal writing project. But we also, and I want people to have their own stories started. But if mainly what you get is just a time to come and be centered and present and just sit in on it and listen to the chatter, and it's like the Wheel of Fortune at 6:30 at night, and you watch Wheel of Fortune and eat dinner, then that's kind of what we're going to do here. So the writing camp orientation, that's free right now. And you can get in there and just start snooping around, opening things, go and see what video one is all about. That's going to show, it says video two, but hello and welcome. There's another video orientation, start. These videos, I think they all need to be redone, but they'll work for now. As I get better at this, the quality of the videos will get better. And I am having to go back and redo these. Uh, you can actually you can participate by purchasing this, but you don't have to. It's free right now. But I gave a place where you can make a purchase. Now, if you want to, oh, it automatically closes. If you click it again, it will automatically close it. I want to just quick show you what the map and the game board looks like. So this is the inside of the map. that gives you instructions. And that's the outside of the map. When it's folded, it's really cool. That's why this is the outside of the map. Actually, this is the playing board, but when you fold it, this just looks so cool on the outside that I'm decided to stick with that idea. Um, and then, walk through the game objectives. I haven't put materials in there. I guess I need to come and do that. We're starting the next session up soon, and so this is how we actually track our map and game board. I did create another cool thing. So as you complete these sections, you just put the date in. So a very simple map, or how you win, because this is not a game I don't know. There might be a way to win this down the road with other people, but as of right now, I don't have anything that's how do you win in competition with other people. It's really just a game. We use the game analogy. It's really just a self-discovery quest for yourself. These core questions are so valuable. Go jump in and see what they are. Question number one, two, and three. Go check them out because if you get nothing else from this, those core questions are incredibly valuable. There's the tech tools all in one place, the orientation and the tracking. I'm going to change some of these words around. So this is happening in real time. You're going to get to learn this along with me. Oh, the spinners. The spinners are so much fun. Let's see if I can just show this. Let's do a little show and tell here. Oh, this is just the number spinner. That one's not as much fun. This is the four wheels with the windows, the doors, and everything else. I'm going to try spinning one and see what happens. It is a little like Wheel of Fortune. Then it pops up, it's like, and we're going to be working with the stethoscope. Here, we'll do this one too. And each one has a sweet little sound to it. This one is doors. The door is the sound stage. I don't know, it just delights me every time. And then the window that we'll be working with is the mental window. And then I think we'll pick a question from our set of five questions. We'll pick the question. It'll be question number two, and then I'll read the question. So that's actually how this works. Just can't even believe it. It's so much fun. Okay, so and all of this is just inside of the map and game board, and we're playing it in real time and gonna figure it out. There we have how to get in there. The Next Human Renaissance, it was a book that I wrote with AI. The Gleaning Lab, this is where I'm going to be storing all of my archived chats because, whatever, it's thousands and thousands of pages that got created. And if it's stuck behind my chat GPT, it's not helpful to anyone. If it's out in the Gleaning Lab, people can use it and discover the things I've discovered along the way. And I don't have to, you can just snoop around there. That's super fun. And then build your own guidebook for life. That's the kind of walkthrough if you want to write a book. I took a bunch of notes when I was working on mine, so I made that available to you. It's all for free. Um, then we have the case studies, finding your voice, writing your voice by studying other people. Oh, this one's so cool. This one is like worth its weight in gold right now. We made these tools, these artifacts were from different teachers. And here was the original essay at the beginning. So this happened between a conversation and between myself and a friend. And it's taking forever to bring it up. I don't know why. It's because we've been working here for 2 hours and there it is. Here's the original essay. And it takes you to a link for the full conversation so you can see how this process was developed in full if you want to see how that worked. And then I explain how we did it. Then here's the original essay. And now we used that original essay. I guess I took some more notes. So, you know, I used that original essay and I asked it to write it in the style of Louis L'Amour, Alice Walker, Mark Twain, somebody named Carson. I think that's a scientist. Carl Sagan, another scientist. Madeleine L'Engle, a sci-fi fantasy. She wrote A Wrinkle in Time. Tolkien, another sci-fi person. Seth Godin, he's a copywriter. Hadley, another copywriter. And then me, after I took all those notes, I created a session that was just my voice again, what AI knows about my voice. Now, I could take that original essay and I could write it in my voice. People talk about how this is stealing other people's work or learning to plagiarize. I just don't believe it's true. I think it's very difficult to understand if you read, um, oh God, I'm just trying to think of some. If you read something by Mark Twain, if you read Huckleberry Finn and your teacher says, um, now, you write your summer story in Mark Twain style. Like, first, let's study what Mark Twain style is. And I cannot do this off the top of my head because I've been doing other things and it's stored back there somewhere. I did study this at one point, but it's like, what is special about Mark Twain's style? Why is he so famous as a writer? Why is Louis L'Amour's work so famous? Why do so many people like Louis L'Amour's work? Um, now, write you wrote your summer story, your what you did for summer vacation, for example. You know how teachers do that when the kids come back to school, they say, "Now write an essay about your summer vacation." Okay, so you write that story, and then they say, now we're going to study Huckleberry Finn and Mark Twain. So you read Huckleberry Finn and Mark Twain and you learn about that the writer voice, Mark Twain's writer voice and his style of writing. And then after you study that book and his voice and all of that, your teacher hands your summer vacation essay back to you and says, now rewrite this story in Mark Twain's style. Well, it's just going to be fucking hard. Excuse my language. It just is going to be hard. Not impossible, a real challenge with very clear constraints. It could be really fun, a very fun way to learn to write. But to get good at that, you have to write a whole bunch of writing that's in Mark Twain's style, or a whole bunch of writing that is in Madeleine L'Engle style or Tolkien style, because you love that writer's style. You love Louis L'Amour's style and you want to write like Louis L'Amour. You have to write like that over and over and over again. You have to read a lot and you have to write a lot. But if you know a writer that you like and love, and you can kind of explain why you like that writer, then you ask the AI to rewrite the essay that you wrote in that style. You can study the story about the thing that's important to you, which was your summer vacation and your adventure you had on your summer vacation, but see it in the style of three different writers that you like. Not only are you learning better writing techniques, but you're also getting to study voice from three different angles. You understand better why it is that you like what you like. And that's going to help to inform how you write in the future. I don't think everything should be done faster. And I think some things it just takes time to learn to be a good cook. You have to cook chicken over and over again. I'm still to this day learning best practices with chicken. And I can read about it and I can try it and it will seem like it worked this time. And I made one error in making this chicken recipe work. And I'll feel like I failed at cooking chicken because it's practically inedible. It's rubbery. Hate rubbery chicken. It takes practice to be able to make chicken that tastes good consistently. It's the same with writing, and we just move on to something else. Kids have math. Talk about coming back to center. Kids every hour transition from one subject to another subject, and they're supposed to they have see their friends in the hallways, frenetic energy, excitement, go to the next class, different teacher, different personality, different way of teaching, different subject matter. That's a lot going on to transition our brains to be able to just get right into whatever the next subject matter is. And our teachers are pushed and pressured to get us to get on the ball to be able to take those tests and win at the test. It's like not impossible, but definitely challenging and dare I say hard. Because people don't like when we say that things are hard, but things are hard. Learning writing voice it's a you have to want to do it. And one of the reasons people want to do it is to get a good grade. But that's not the same as having your real voice and understanding what writing voice is and works. And I believe, in my experience and through this case study, you can actually get in here and see what I'm talking about. I took us through real time. When we talk about literacy, just literacy in general, the AI, I believe the AI can just help us enormously. And I really, really want people to consider the possibilities of this for themselves, for their children, for homeschool kids, for kids over the summer. If you need to get your kids, like have them work with the AI. Bring, teach them about integrity. Teach them that plagiarism is not okay. And the reason why is somebody worked really hard to produce that. And people can say, well, Nay, you had the AI write all this stuff for you, 100 pages. You couldn't have done that in a day. That you're exactly right. But I spent most of the day with the AI learning this stuff so that I could bring it to you and teach it to you. I don't want people to steal my work. I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to plagiarize my work. I want them to attribute what I've done back to me, to point to me and say, she helped me figure this out. One, so that I can get so that I so more work comes my way, so that I can pick up uh, consulting jobs, and so that people know that the work that I've produced is useful and trustworthy for others, that I am actually truly showing what good AI can do for you, and that I don't want to leave people behind. That's why I'm taking the time to come back and teach the basics so that my aunt and my friend can be more up to speed. Just getting back really quick to my aunt and my friend, Anne and Jan. Anne and Jan. When I'm sitting on the other side of the computer with them, or when I'm sitting right next to them and I'm moving the mouse around and I'm clicking on tabs and I'm moving to other place things on the computer, when I'm doing that in real time, it's hard to see if your eyes are not tuned to watch for the pointer, the arrow moving around. And this gets back to Janet and the rudimentary tools. I'm going to go down here. Very, very, very important. Oh, where is this? Spinner's tools. Additional resources. Case study. Close that up. Inspiration. Grab a seat. Ooh, did I do this somewhere else? I might have done this somewhere else. Did I do it in basics? No. Shoot. All right, I'm going to have to go find the material. But the thing about it is, Um, let me go. This is gonna drive me crazy. I better go do this right now. There. Game board, personal navigation. No. Oh no. Where is this? Oh, I gotta go find it. I will. I'll go find it. What I did is I went and I created something. Oh, oh no. This is I think it was the original game board and I haven't uploaded it. I bet that's what happened. Okay. Whew. Oh, I'm having a panic attack there. Jeez. Um, which is also why we transitioned nicely out of this session. Um, the so my friend CK, he told me that this is the guy who was the computer programmer. He said having people learn or having people play um what's that game where you move the cards around? Um, oh shoot. Solitaire. Having people play solitaire and other games on the computer are incredibly helpful. So what I did is I found best practices in typing. Like I found a couple of games that people can practice typing. I played a couple of games and I remember doing this when I was in grade school, in grammar school, and I loved it. I loved playing those games. And so I just played a couple of them and I had fun doing it as an adult. It was like kind of relaxing. It was kind of like Tetris or something like that, but with like words, and I was typing them out. And it was fun and it reminded me of being in second grade and learning to type when I was in second grade. And then the other game is solitaire, and that helps you build your mouse skills. What this doesn't help with is the being able to navigate the pointer. And being able to navigate the pointer is really important. And I watch Jan and Anne, and they both struggle with this. That it's hard for them to even see. I'm going moving that pointer really slow, but if you are not used to watching a pointer, now it's a finger, now it's a pointer. I think the finger means that I can select it. I mean, I don't even think about this as being like an issue because I grew up with it. Now imagine, you know, teenagers and you're like, just show me how to do it. And they're like, just do it like this and this and this. And it's like everybody's I've had the experience of people getting impatient with me. And good customer service, man, when you have the experience of good customer service and somebody who can be patient with you and walk you through what you're trying to do and help you feel competent and confident, that's what we aim for with this. So here's my commitment. For the foreseeable future, I'm going to do 1 day a week that's going to be just like the orientation, the writing camp orientation, and that game board for this to get people oriented and get them the basics. I actually have a cool like document that I created for it. Makes me want to go over to Canva and see if I can find it. Um, because I know that's where I created it at. Yeah, I work, man. Every bit of this is, oh, thank God. I'm so glad I found this. Oh, I almost had a panic attack. Oh, but you know what? I think I created a website for this. So actually, all this is the how we actually get through a day in the life of the winter writing camp. So if that's our 30-minute piece, I don't know where I did this at, so I'm gonna have to go find it. But on there is like the basic tools with the solitaire and the how to type and all that cool stuff is right there. And then the other thing I said I promised that I would do is download this. The other thing I promised I would do is show people their how to make their a folder. And um and I'm going to actually walk you through my process of cleaning up the mess that I've made because honestly, a lot of people are going to need that too. They don't just need to know file folder hierarchy, they literally need to know how to clean up all the chaos that they've created everywhere. So this is like a day in the life of our writing class. And it's not going to let me scroll down so that you can see that. But 30 minutes goes fast. But also, you get a lot of writing done in 3 minutes. So we do the writing exercises just for 3 to 5 minutes each, and we do the energetic transitions. And so there's a lot that's going to be showing up. You have a ton of information for free right now. That'll keep you busy for plenty of time. And meanwhile, I'm out there working as a consultant to help people in a variety of ways to get their writing into the world, to use AI, and to help whole communities to be able to up level as a whole community. That's really, really what I'm doing. Oh, and also I have a movement class coming up soon too. So that's really fun. My friend Lizzie's going to be in town. We're going to be doing this writing course or movement course, and it's also story development. So there's some fun stuff happening in the world, and we'd love to have you be part of it. All right, with that, we've been here for an hour, 2.5 hours. Geez. We're gonna go again with that second 3 minutes transition out. I'm gonna take off my glasses, shake it out a little bit. I know what I have to go do this afternoon. I get to go out and share my new flyers. Where are they? They're so beautiful. I just want to show you this. It's really, 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 really beautiful. So we have the proposal, and then we have this flyer here. And the AI created that gorgeous graphic right there. And is that upside down or right? Yeah, that's right side up. And it just, all those QR codes take you into the free classes, takes you into the thank you page for the town so that they know what they're investing in. The sponsors know what they're getting when they sponsor. It gives them the writing camp orientation for free, what I just showed you, the discover what good I can do for you. It gives them those free classrooms free, and then it takes them into the sales page that talks about how they can take part in the story by becoming a sponsor, or not even a sponsor, just a participant. So I'll be putting that out into the world shortly, and you'll have access to that as well. Um, in the meantime, just enjoy the classroom, snoop around in there, poke on things, open stuff up, close stuff. If you get lost, go back to the classroom. It'll take you back to the starting point. And then we typically work in classwork, and you don't have to worry about the other pieces of the puzzle, just the classwork. Okay, that pretty much does it. Let's do our somatic intelligence practice to transition out of this session and back into the world, whatever you've got going on next. See ya. Till next time, take good care. We'll be in touch soon. And begin. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel that breath coming into your body. If you need to move your shoulders, neck around just to get a little more space in there. Feel your spine stacked one vertebra on top of the other. Your spine is at neutral, your head is at neutral. I feel like you could easily just flow back and forth. Everything is gentle, easy, restful. Eyes resting shut. You're okay. This is good. I'm okay. Hands in that comfortable position. Just being present with ourselves, coming home to ourselves, present with the moment, present with the breath, permission to just be here now, right here with our breath at home in our body. Resting easy. Nice breath in, out, feeling your feet on the floor. Nice audible sigh. Rolling the shoulders back, stretching, yawning, moving the wrists around, wiggling around a little bit, letting your eyes rest open. There we have it. It's a lovely transition back out into your day. May it be well and abundant for you. Take good care.